dropped on a new run of soccer down here. It's Tuesday Thoughts, and this is where today we're really going to have you put your thinking cap on. Playoffs start tomorrow, and I had a lot of questions running through my head yesterday as we're getting into the playoffs and the postseason. Some of it had to do with what we were talking about yesterday, and a lot of it has to do with we better say it now or we're not going to be able to hold ourselves to it later. So here's today. First and foremost, morning Bam, morning Knicks. All right, yesterday we were talking about the playoffs and the playoff structure and TV and all that stuff. So knowing what it is right now, A, how would you fix the playoff structure? If you don't like it, how would you fix it? I'm fine with 3 legs. I get it. It's a best of 3. You're trying to make episodes, all that stuff. Like I said, I was looking at it from a TV programmer's perspective. I get the 3 legs. If you don't like the 3 legs, tell me what you want, why. But you've got to make it fit into the TV window that's currently there. So MLS Cup is still going to be the date that it is. Tell me how you would fix the playoff structure and still have it fit into the television window that we have provided for us by our friends at Apple TV. First and foremost, the A. B, because playoffs start tomorrow with your Thunderdome, I need to know all of your postseason awards. I need to know your best 11. I need to know, let's see, what do we have here? So I need best 11. I need your MVP. I need your coach of the year. I need your newcomer of the year. I need your young player of the year. I need your keeper, and I need your defender. So all of your awards, I need your awards because traditionally, since it's the end of the regular season, this is when folks submit their awards. You know, we don't wait until the playoffs are done so we could come up with a playoff, and then we come up with playoff MVP and all that kind of stuff. So, need your best 11, MVP, coach of the year, newcomer, young player, goalkeeper, defender. I'm going to put a caveat in there. I know that some of you might put a player from your favorite team in there. If you do, I need an aside from someone that's not your favorite team. So, Bam, I know you're probably going to put Denny Bouanga in there somewhere. Give me somebody else, same location on your ballot, that would be the Bouanga replacement. And I know that Denny Bouanga would make a lot of sense for a lot of different awards. But I want to challenge you, dear reader, viewer, listener. I want to know, obviously, a lot of folks will put Thiago Almada in there. A lot of folks will put Gigi in there somewhere. Okay, great. But what I want you to also do is give me somebody in that same position, not from your favorite team. So that's your challenge there. Playoffs and Major League Soccer in general. I need underachievers, overachievers, and playoff dark horses. Let's do that. So regular season underachiever, overachiever, and it could still count for someone that's in the playoffs. So someone could have overachieved and made the playoffs. Someone could have underachieved and still made the playoffs. And also give me a playoff dark horse. So literally you're going to have to get out pen and paper today to figure all this stuff out. We'll talk about all the news of the morning. We'll go overseas. We'll talk about that kind of stuff. Our friends at Yosemar did another really interesting investigation, so we'll talk about that as well. Players are being told that they're not a part of their club's futures. No surprises so far. But here's your assignment once again today. We talked about the TV contract and the playoff format. If you don't like it, fix it and tell me why. But it's got to fit in the same TV window that's currently there for Apple. Best 11. If you put a player in there from your favorite team for best 11 or for the awards that are about to follow, I need a substitute or an adjunct or an additional from another team that fits in that same spot. Then postseason awards, MVP, coach, newcomer, young player, goalkeeper, defender. Playoffs. I feel like I need that drop. I need overachiever Major League Soccer, underachiever Major League Soccer, playoff dark horse Major League Soccer. So this is like 10 different things today. This is PhD class as we get into the playoffs tomorrow. Traffic on the network. Later today, you'll have your USL Championship update, USL League One update, MLS Next Pro update. And tomorrow, once again, we'll have a taped interview. We'll have a 1v1 with Ian Cameron, the head coach of South Georgia Tormented. That'll be out tomorrow afternoon. Also tomorrow, 10 o'clock, busiest man in the Northeast, Dylan Butler. Hopefully he can join us if he's not doing stuff with Varsity Media and being a guest on talk shows on satellite radio. Bart Keeler joining us for Reffing Down Here, and Wednesdays with Bart. We'll talk about episode 70 of the Soccer for US POD that has come out, and we'll get into that. We'll get into all of that stuff as well. Then on Thursday, we are efforting guests because we will have survived Thunderdome. So we're trying to get guests after post Thunderdome plus Nico Moreno at 10:30. Friday, once again, normal. We're going to try to prepare for weekend playoff action. Try to get some of our guests and golden ticket holders to come in to discuss what's going on, and we'll try to make it different levels as well. Not just Major League Soccer, but we'll try and track down folks' USL Championship. Our friends from the USL show will be on at 10 o'clock on Thursday. Kaylor Hodges. We will hopefully see if Kaylor can bring in Morrissey and anybody else from the USL show to be a part of the party. Remember, they're here every Thursday, 10 o'clock Eastern, for the duration of the playoffs. So that's your traffic. But your homework assignment today, we're workshopping. Once again, if you don't like the TV deal, fix it. If you don't like the playoff format, fix it. But it's got to fit in the same window. MLS Cup is going to be at the same time. Fix it and tell me what you're doing. Postseason awards. Give me your best 11. Favorite player, favorite team. Give me an adjunct. Give me a parenthetical guy in your positions. Then best 11 plus MVP, coach, newcomer, young player, goalkeeper, defender. All that. MLS overachiever, MLS underachiever, playoff dark horse. So 10 different things, 11 if you count the TV contract, but 10 having to do with the season, plus the TV deal and the playoffs. So we're putting on our thinking caps today, and we're sharing our information with everybody. And feel free to post it in the Discord, too. For those of you that are part of the Discord here at SDH, let everybody know so they, in turn, if they missed the show, they can go ahead and post their stuff in the Discord, and then they can go ahead and post it once again at SDH on the 200 Andy Character app and whatever. So that's your homework assignment today. I know, Nix, I'm asking a lot. Take it piecemeal. It'll be a constant reminder of what is on your mind today. So literally, I'm going to go ahead and write it in the Twitch pitch while we're talking here. All right, so fix the TV deal. If I could, not actually, let me do it not as me, but let me do it over here. All right, so fix the TV deal if you don't like it. So if you don't lie. Wow, John, you and your fingers. All right, fix the TV deal if you don't like it. Best 11. Give me someone else and a favorite club. Pick. All right. And then for all the other postseason awards, MLS, regular season. I probably should have done this before the show started. Regular season, overachiever, underachiever, playoff dark horse. So this is for everybody who's joining in late, and if I could spell. All right, so best 11, and then MVP, coach of the year, newcomer, young player. What am I missing? Newcomer, young player. Oh, keeper and defender. Defender. Nice. All right. So there you go. That is today's assignments. And we'll walk through them. Like I said, we'll walk through them all day long. We got plenty of time. So that is the assignment for today. That is the workshop for today. There. Workshop for today. Now that we've got all that stuff out of the way, opening kickoff brought to us by our friends at Kickoff Coffee, kickoffcoffeeco.com. I got to take my hand here and cover. There we go. The QR code for hour number 2. And that's thanks to our friends at Kickoff Coffee for kicking off our day. And thanks to everyone who has been kicking off their day at Kickoff Coffee and kickoffcoffeeco.com. Don't forget to use the code SoccerDownHere15. You get 15% off your purchase. They, in turn, take 10% and reinvest it into the youth game, youth initiatives, and very, very cool stuff from our friends at Kickoff Coffee and kickoffcoffeeco.com. See, with just me, I have to cover up that second QR code because traditionally, yes, overachiever, well, actually, you can go either way. Nix, go ahead. You've added to the work. Overachiever can be a player, can be a team. Underachiever can be a player, can be a team. So there. Yes. The answer, Nix, is yes. You are correct. It's what happens when your mom is an English major and you leave out a modifier, but it can be whatever you want. But you got to tell me why. So it's like, okay, here's why. Here's my choice. Here's why. Unless it's like really obvious. So, kickoff this morning has to do with getting old. And I have, I've spent the better part of 75 years on TV sidelines, when those TV cameras look like the 3CP1 sketch in Russia, the TV studio cameras. That's how long I've been in the biz, as the kids say. And you kind of figure out over time that you got to take care of yourself, with eating and working out and exercising and all this kind of stuff. But the one thing that caught up with me is walking. I got caught up in doing sideline walking, and I'm just going to say this: plantar fasciitis hurts. And I'm so used to walking in loafers and things that, having done what I've done for 30 plus years on sidelines, whether it's shooting highlights, anchoring, reporting, what have you, plantar fasciitis hurts. And so, you get up the next morning after doing a long night of doing television, and you're wearing shoes that help, arch support and things like that. But then you get up Saturday morning, and man, it is revenge from the ankles. And so I have actually invested in those, and this goes into algorithms too. But I've actually invested in those arch support things. And literally, I don't know where the algorithm comes from, but I literally have Tiki Barber showing up with his pop-up ad every single piece of social media that I'm a part of. The 280 character app on the IG and on everything. It's like literally I'm seeing Tiki Barber sitting there and saying, "Hey, if you've got problems with plantar, here, use this insole." Literally, I've had that pop up over the last week after I started looking it up when I couldn't really walk on a Saturday morning. I literally have Tiki Barber sitting there and showing me an insole every place I turn, especially on Instagram. Man, on Instagram, literally Tiki Barber is popping up. He's saying, "Here, buy this insole." And then you sit there and you do the research. It's like $4,000. You're like, nope. You can afford that for being an NFL running back for 10 years. I cannot afford that for anything. So literally, I have been scouring the interwebs trying to figure out an appropriate insole that A, I can afford, and B, I hope helps. Yeah, Nick's is not wrong. Started getting ads for something that was mentioned in a work meeting the other day. The devices are always listening. You are not wrong. And that's the scary part about all of this. Devices are listening. They sit there and it's like, when you get all those cookies, and I don't mean cookies in a good way, I mean cookies in a bad way, where you're thinking, and it's like, okay, I'll go down this rabbit hole. Oh, yeah, I want to look at this. Oh, yeah, I want to look at that. And then all of a sudden, everything is from what you looked at the other day. But this is, I guess, part PSA and part, damn, I'm getting old. Literally, I mean, I get out of bed and, I mean, my feet were killing me. I mean, not from like walking 7 miles or something during a Friday night like I do, but literally it's like because of you're having arch support and then you take the shoes off and then you're walking flat. So I guess this is part PSA. Take care of yourself. If one of those algorithms pops up with the devices that are always listening, look it up. The device is looking out for you. As creepy as that sounds, the device is looking out for you. So, if you see me walking like an inch taller, it's because of those insoles. And I literally had to rip out the insole of my loafer to put the insole in to help out with it. It's supposed to like mold to your foot and all this kind of stuff. So, don't get old. That's today's opening kickoff, brought to us by our friends at Kickoff Coffee and kickoffcoffeeco.com. As I anticipate the QR code. There's your QR code for those of you who are watching on Twitch and on YouTube and on the 280 character app. And thanks to everybody who has been. Like I said, the YouTube thing is something that we started this week. YouTube Live, in addition to the audio version that gets released later in the day. But yeah, don't forget to use the code soccer down here, 15 at Kickoff Coffee. They in turn take 10% reinvested into the youth game and youth initiatives. Very, very cool stuff from our friends at Kickoff Coffee and kickoffcoffeeco.com. So there you go. That's our number one. Yes, bam, post it. No, I want you to post it in here. I want you to post it. So that way everybody can see it and they can comment and then post it in the Discord later. Before you go to bed or maybe open up a separate window, post all of your thoughts here. Like I said, I know it's a lot. That's why I said we had to get pen and paper out today. But we'll workshop this and we'll let everybody know what you think. But I also want you to defend your position. So like I said, ma'am, I know that you're going to have Denny Bouanga in there somewhere. If Denny Bouanga's in your best 11, I need someone in parentheses next to Denny Bouanga. I mean, I get the idea of MVP or something like that. Ryan Gauld, Vancouver, interesting choice. And obviously, so then Bam would venture that without Ryan Gauld, Vancouver would be a different team. And I get that. I completely and totally get that. And so we'll let Bam post his senior superlatives. Once again, it's best 11. Your favorite team is engaged. I need a parenthesis. And then I need also, once again, coach of the year, goalkeeper, defender, underachiever, overachiever. And like I said, it can be an MVP. It could also apply to, once again, teams that have made the playoffs. They could have overachieved or underachieved, or if they underachieved and didn't make the playoffs, then we could talk about that too. So, like I said, it can be either way. And to Nick's point, it can also be players. Overachiever, underachiever. But if they're attached to your favorite club, I need somebody else who's there in parentheses. So this is where all of this is going today. So Bam on the board. Ryan Gauld from Vancouver is his MVP. And like I said, I think that what Bam is doing is All right. So Bam is taking MVP and going, okay, without this player, this team would not have been as successful as they are. Coach Pat Noonan, FC Cincinnati. That's understandable. Bam goes newcomer Messi. Response from Nick's coming up in a bit. Goalkeeper of the year, Zach McMath from RSL. By the way, that RSL Houston series is going to be crazy. Defender, Matt Miazga, Cincinnati. I could see where things are laying out with that. Underachiever, Douglas Costa, who is not going to be a part of LAG's plans in 2024, especially when you're making $4.5 million and not producing. So that makes a lot of sense. Bam, overachiever, Sporting Kansas City. Interesting. And so Nick's obviously seeing the newcomer of the year selection from Bam, says that he's banned for the newcomer selection. Sorry, them's the rules. Playoff dark horse Red Bulls. Very interesting. And, you know, if you were to, once again, look at that grid, that means that Bam thinks that it's going to be one of those elements where you're staring at the 8-9 and that possibly they take care of Cincinnati after the 8-9. Then you've got Philadelphia, New England. I think that I think Bam is looking at this as styles make fights. So if you have a situation where Red Bulls are playing probably Philly. Wow, I just realized Philly has, oh, wow. Rich and Shooter in round one. I just realized that. I'm sorry. Wow, we're going to have Twitch pitch infighting and stuff on the Discord. Rich and Shooter in round one. Nix, thank you. Put it pen to paper. Hopefully it'll get you through your meeting in hour number one. So pen to paper. It'll keep you awake. Shooter and Rich in round number one of the playoffs when we're in the round of 8 and the best of 3. Wow, I just realized that. Perhaps if New England gets the best of Philly. Okay, so Bam will have his best 11 without LAFC ready for the second hour. Thank you. We appreciate that. So that's what you're – wow. Rich and Shooter in playoffs in round one. Oh, my God. Sorry. I just realized that. Okay. So let's go through. I can give you MVPs and things like that. Tom Bogert had his MVP at Lucho Acosta. I could see that. Could definitely see that. And so we bring in Nick. Yo. It is Senior Superlatives Day. We have opened up the MLS yearbook since we have playoffs starting tomorrow. And it is time to lay out the best ofs and the worst ofs for the year. And maybe your favorite teacher will sit there and say, "Thanks for being such a great student!" ! See you over past the summer. One of those. So it is. Here's your ground rules. Best 11. But now, like I said, you got to write this down.
Okay. All right.
So best 11. But if you're going to include someone from your favorite team or your local team, I need a parenthesis. Then I need overachiever, underachiever, playoff dark horse. Then I need MVP. I need
John, I have ADHD. I'm not going to remember all of this. You just got to walk me through step by step.
Okay, so let's perfectly fine. All right, so here's what we're doing. All right, so MVP. Who's your MVP this year?
Hani Mukhtar.
Okay. Why?
Look at Nashville with Hani Mukhtar. Look at Nashville without Hani Mukhtar. To going forward, entirely different teams.
Okay.
I would say that I don't think, with the exception of Lionel Messi, no other team is as nakedly adrift without their star player as Nashville is, but there's a larger sample size of time with Mukhtar than there is with Messi. I can sit there and project with Messi what they would have been had he been here all season.
Okay.
But I don't have that. I've only got a small window.
Bam went with,
and Nashville's still going. So
yeah. Bam went with Ryan Gauld for Vancouver for the same reason, I'm guessing.
Okay. I respect that.
If Vancouver does not have Ryan Gauld, then you don't have the other individual to play off of there offensively, and I don't think Vancouver makes a postseason.
Right.
Coach, who's your coach of the year?
Coach of the year.
Noonan, Carnell, anybody else?
I'm go ahead and Twitch pitch, line yourselves up accordingly.
Yes.
I will say that I think that Pineda had an opportunity to lose this team.
Mm-hmm.
To me, turning the vibe around, integrating the new players as quickly as he has, to me is exceptional management. To me, that's exceptional management. He's still a very young manager, right? I mean, but I would have to say I have to include his name on here. Now, are there a lot of reasons not to? Yes. Some of the late game goal allowances problematic. Yes. But if you look at the new players that had to be integrated into this team and the fact that this team still was managing to play for him during sort of that rough period prior to the All-Star break, to me, that's exceptional management. Schmetzer's up there as well, right? I mean, Schmetzer's a guy who he's a copy machine salesman, but at the same time, half that team is going to be gone in Seattle after this year.
Right.
And he still has managed to not only make them competitive, but make them a dangerous threat in the West. Schmetzer's my guy. If I have to give one name between Pineda and Schmetzer, I'll say Schmetzer.
Okay. Also on the board with the single person individual awards, newcomer of the year.
Newcomer of the year. I'm good Lord. I will say Mayumba.
Okay, because Bogart had Gigi.
Yeah, I think that's good. But to me, and I know you have to give like a really exceptional reasons to pick somebody from your own team. I would say that when the main issues for Atlanta, everybody gave grief when Ibarra was moved. But the main issue wasn't having a defensive presence at the 6 or the 8. The main issue was jumping the lines. Somebody who could not only defend, but could then move the ball either to Almada or up along the wings consistently with accuracy, moving the ball at pace. And Mayumba has been able to do that and really provide a presence that Atlanta has not had since that one gentleman who is now up in Columbus, Mr. Nagby.
Yes.
So I will to me that he's one of the players that everything changed for Atlanta the moment Mayumba stepped on the field and got regular minutes. All
right. So then if that is your newcomer of the year, who is your young player of the year? 22 and under.
22 and under. That's pretty tough. You have to look at Kramaski from Miami.
Okay.
I mean, that kid's been cooking.
Mm-hmm.
And who's the kid from Orlando?
Was it Facundo Farias?
No.
The Torres.
No, the college kid.
Oh, Duncan McGuire.
Yeah, Duncan McGuire.
Okay.
Duncan McGuire to me is going to be a problem, I think, for a lot of the East in the future. I think there's going to be a lot of teams that are going to find major issues dealing with that kid. Duncan McGuire to me is somebody who should be looked at for national team minutes. He's somebody who the ceiling is so stupid high on, and he's one of those kids who just ended up matriculating through the college system and not, being scooped up by some German team a while ago. He just wasn't scouted. I don't know if he was scouted, somebody didn't have their blinders on, but he's had moments that have made your eyeballs pop out of your head. And I know we don't like talking about purple shirts that often, but if you have McGuire and you've got Kramashki, you've got a couple of guys who in the East who are going to be major issues long after the Barcelona senior team have exited the pitch.
Yep. All right. So if that is your young dude, who's your keeper of the year?
Calendar. Drake Calendar is somebody who has as magnificent as Miami's second half attack has been. Their back line is a disaster zone. The minute you break Miami's mid block, it is a track meet to the goal. And not only the fact that you have a keeper who has to be able to react at a moment's notice. He also scored the winning goal to give them their first trophy, right? So when you look at the total package, Calendar to me is just I don't think there's anyone who's being asked to do more with less, because Messi ain't defending.
No.
Yeah.
What?
I know, it's crazy, right? But to me it's Calendar.
Okay. Then after keeper of the year, who's your defender of the year?
Defender of the year is a bit tough. Defender's so hard because you have to look at a couple of different situations, right? You have to look at what that defender is being asked to do, right? What is the system that they're, what kind of work are they having to put in? And to me, that it's too tough for me to call, and that's a complete cop out. But it's too hard for me to sit there and say, okay, this defender above all is the best in the league, because I mean, Jesus, who would you even put in there?
Probably some of the back line for Philly. You've got Robin Janssen for the purple team. You got Tim Parker from St. Louis, who's having a renaissance.
Yeah, that'd be a good shout.
So, Abby, welcome back. We know that you were traveling, recouping from the drive back from Ohio. It's Senior Superlatives. It's time to get out your MLS yearbook today and let everybody know about your individual awards, your team awards, playoff dark horses, underachiever, overachiever, all those kinds of things for this season as we get ready for the playoffs tomorrow. So that is where we are with all of that. Before we continue into other stuff, and that is the official term, that it is other stuff, we got to go here. Man gets an email, he's got to talk about it. So I got an email, and it came in, let's see, how long ago did it show up? It was 10 minutes ago. For the second season in a row, SDH is a winner in the Davey Awards.
Whoa.
On behalf of the Academy of Interactive and Visual Arts, SDH is once again in the silver category for podcast series sports. SDH is silver winner in the Davey Awards.
John, your mic's cutting out right as you're talking about these phenomenal things.
Well, then I'll turn down the audio. How about that? There. How about now?
Yes.
All right. Second year in a row, morning, Will. Second year in a row, SDH has been awarded a silver level award for the Davies. So we are officially official podcast series sports silver award for the Davies. And the Davies are brought to us by the Academy of Interactive and Visual Arts. And it is, according to our friends at the Davie Awards, it is a significant accomplishment. So, second year in a row, we're back-to-back winners in the Davies, folks. So, congratulations to everybody here for a part of this madness, 365 days a year, and we could not have done it without you guys for listening every single day to all of our madness.
That's right.
And so Silver Davie Award winners once again. So, we're not one to toot our own horn, but quoting Arn Anderson, toot, toot.
That's right. I mean, look, this is a show that has been, from the time when Jason started this, with doing Facebook group chats, in the evenings prior to the first kick for Atlanta United, all the way to now. This is all, we've managed to assemble a team that is, we're a collection of lunatics, right? I mean, we keep doing this because we love it. We keep doing this because, the Twitch pitch is engaged. Discord is engaged.
Y'all crazy.
We're all knuckleheads, man. We're all just, we're all part of the same cult of the round ball.
Mm-hmm.
I love it.
So congrats. I couldn't do it without all of y'all, but yeah, we got the notice at 9:30 this morning that we are once again silver level winner. We are silver medalists, silver certificate type folks for the Davie Awards.
That's right.
So yes, the craziness continues, and we keep adding things to start things out. So. And Will has been doing things internationally, so welcome back. All right, Bam, go ahead and drop your starting 11. And what I've asked for starting 11s is if you're going to put one of your hometown teams in there your favorite team that you follow, I need a parenthetical person there as well. All right, so Nick, since we went through defenders and keepers and all the individual awards, overachiever, underachiever. And it can be either a player or a team. And it can also be a team that has made the playoffs that has either underachieved or overachieved.
A player. Okay, so let's go overachieving.
Mm-hmm.
My overachieving is going to be Brandon Vasquez.
Okay.
He's a guy who, we all knew he could be good. He had someone in front of him at the time in Joseph Martinez, who was, a stalwart. He rarely missed any time at all. You were not, unless you switched to like a legitimate 2-striker system, you weren't going to have him play a lot of minutes except for like Open Cup and things like that. There was no way he was going to get the minutes he needed here in Atlanta.
Right.
And so when he made his way to Cincinnati, it's not just the fact that he's scoring, it's the fact that he's a legitimate leader on that team. I think that's the overachievement part for me, that he has stepped into a true leadership position there. And couldn't be happier for him. So I think he is my overachiever, that we already expected good things from him. The sky's the limit, especially now that he's, it's great to have leadership positions in the midfield or on defense. But when you have a legitimate leader at striker, you're cooking with something different at that point.
All right. So who has underachieved? Like I said, it can be
my God,
a team or a player or both.
All right. Pass the collection plates, ladies and gentlemen. It's time to go to the Church of Trash. And there's one big name at that altar. Is Toronto, baby. Good God almighty, did they set money on fire. When you're looking at spending the amount of money you did to get Insigne, right? Insigne alone, you expected big things from. Then you have Bernadeschi as well. When you have the amount of money set on fire that you have and get so little in return. And now I'll say this in defense of Insigne. Was it last season? He and his wife had a miscarriage that shook them to their core.
Right.
Right. I don't think his experience at all you're talking about a hometown Naples kid, right? A hometown Naples kid finally leaves Naples and he goes all the way the hell to Toronto because he refuses to play anywhere else in Italy. To have that, and then to have the trauma of leaving home. Italians typically don't do that anyway, and then to cap it off with such horrific trauma as losing a child, man, I get it. Bernadeschi to me is more unforgivable because you're talking about somebody who could play anywhere on the field. When they first came in, they were cooking.
Mm-hmm.
They were like supposed to be Inter Miami before, Inter Miami. They came in, they dropped 3 goals in their first game together, and it was like, oh, whoa, wait a minute, this is something scary, and it just all fell apart. It just fell apart so horrifically. Yes, I will put a team overachieving as St. Louis. I thought they were going to gas out halfway through based on the style of play. They have managed to balance rotation and roster exceptionally well. They have, anybody that shows up in St. Louis they're showing up to Dante's like third ring of hell. There ain't nothing fun happening there. So but as far as to me, it's one thing to be a team that refuses to spend money and to be at the bottom of the table. It is something else entirely when you have to blow your team up mid-season because it's all falling apart.
Right.
The Bob Bradley experiment fell apart. Michael Bradley's legs finally died on him.
Yep.
You had to move Altidore. You had to move, you had a team that essentially says, hey, look, we're going all attack, no defense, deal with it, baby. It's nuts to me how, based on raw talent alone, it's a team that should have finished in the playoffs, maybe not guaranteed a home playoff game, a couple of home playoff games, simply because Bernadeschi's a damn good player. Insigne, if you followed the national team at all, or if you watched Serie A, you could see that the wheels were kind of coming off for Insigne. He didn't have that same explosiveness that he had before, but he could still find the goal, no problem. But I think his head's gone.
Yeah.
I just think really his head is not there. And, there were moments where he found himself in space and just could not convert. Moments where he was feuding with players and coaches staff. And, just because he and Bernadeschi are both Italian doesn't mean they're necessarily the best of friends. But to watch the wheels fall off of that was just absolutely bat blank crazy to me. Miami being so comically poor at the beginning of the season,
right,
was a bit hilarious, but you knew what they were building to, right? So Miami's building to something.
Yeah.
Toronto came out of the gate with something, and it's sort of like the golden retriever in the lab coat. I have no idea what I'm doing. Like it just went sideways. Miami was so comically undergunned in the beginning that it just, you knew they were building to something. Joseph Martinez, I think the book has been written.
Yeah.
You have 2 teams in Atlanta and Miami who have both said the guy doesn't have it anymore. And it's sad, right? It's really sad because he did so much here for Atlanta. The statues, they built the statue, the murals, him showing up randomly at pubs. I think he did that with Chelsea, like the Chelsea supporters over at it was at Hudson FC when it was still up and running. RIP Hudson FC. He would show up there and just randomly sign like whatever was put in front of him. But the sort of bad exit that he had here in Atlanta, and then really being told unceremoniously by, the person who, he had his greatest success under, Tata Martino, say, no, he's not coming. He's not coming back. That's why he's not doing the China tour. He's not starting for us in our final game. That's a wrap for him here in Miami. For the salary, you have to say that's underachieving. But there's a time when underachieving publicly, but according to public perception, and underachieving based on time take over. Father Time's undefeated. He's never fully recovered from the knee injury. I think mentally he came back from the knee injury, but unfortunately, too much time has passed. That explosiveness that he required, that gave him separation between himself and defenders, was gone. Unless he does a position change and does more of an attacking midfielder role, which I think he can do, and he should call up Frank de Boer and thank him profusely if he earns another two contracts off of being an essential attacking midfielder, because Frank had him doing that, that dropping in to facilitate the attack and doing a lot of distribution. I think that would, if I'm in Joseph's camp, I may talk to him about doing that. I don't think he's going to do it, but it's going to be interesting to see where he goes next. But I have to say that's underachieving. And the sooner he's off Atlanta's books and the sooner he's off Miami's books, the better for all parties involved.
And it looks like it's going to be some combination of Luis Suarez and or Luka Modric is what they're staring at down in Fort Lauderdale next season for that slot, and buying down Gregory, I'm sure, to make him a high TAM to where you can open up a DP slot. So there's all of that. You mentioned all of the overachieving, underachieving dudes and players and such. Give me a playoff dark horse. Who do you think could make some noise that is kind of below the radar to the rest of us mere mortals when it comes to looking at the postseason grid?
I think Atlanta is going to be. I don't think anyone's expecting Atlanta to beat nationally. I don't think anyone's expecting Atlanta to beat Columbus.
Yeah,
especially with Almada out game one. But Atlanta has, if Jamal Thiago can keep calm. Look, first of all, I love his CONCACAF-iness. He put on full display. I love that dude. But he's a card magnet, at the moment. So, but I think Atlanta is a team that has the ability to shock people. I do not believe that anybody nationally thinks that Atlanta's getting past Columbus, but I think that if Atlanta gets past Columbus, which is their boogeyman, right?
Mm-hmm.
Columbus is Philly's getting up there, but since season one, Columbus has been Atlanta's boogeyman. And if Atlanta can get past Columbus, the path is there. The path is there. I don't know if Philly is going to be able to survive 3-game series. To me, they sort of run like a triple option offense. They're really difficult to prepare for because no other team really plays that combination of knife fight in a phone booth and possessing the ball at enough times so they can stay fresh. But I will say that if Atlanta gets past Columbus, I think the path is there for them. If you ask me for a dark horse, that's the dark horse.
Okay.
Outside of that, I think that some of the rest of these will be rather predictable.
And I realized it when I was looking at the grid when I was talking about it early in the show this morning before you hopped on. You realize that Rich and Shooter are going up against each other in round one. You want to talk Twitch pitch firepower, and you want to talk about some flame throwing? Rich Ransom and Shooter McGavin going against each other in round number one.
Ooh, hey, look, man, I love watching fights. I love watching fights. I was the dude who, like, in Panama City would sort of crack the beer and sit there and watch like the street fights between, the hillbillies and the North Florida rednecks and the Georgia frat boys throw down like it was like, UFC main event. Like that was always a lot of fun.
Like you're hanging out on the back porch of Spinnaker and La Vila, and all of a sudden, like 3 too many, and they just start swinging.
That's right. It's like, it's copyrighted phrase, so I'm not going to get charged $1 million. It's like, and now for the main event of the evening. And the red corner, hailing from Apalachicola, Florida.
Multiple first name, last name.
That's right. Shooter Jennings. It's like, and now in the blue corner, hailing from Georgia State University, it's Thad McCracken.
It is last name, first name, last name.
I mean, look, I have no problems watching some fights, man. Let's go. But I think Philly, New England's going to be a lot of fun. I think that's going to be a great series. LAFC, Vancouver could get dicey. I think Dynamo is going to beat Salt Lake.
Mm-hmm.
But
you want to talk spicy first round series? Houston and Salt Lake.
That'd be real spicy.
Woo!
That'd be real spicy. I think Orlando and Nashville is going to get stupid.
Okay.
Over a 3-game series.
Yeah,
baby. I think Orlando, Nashville is going to get really dumb, and so could and Seattle versus FC Dallas is going to be must-see TV, because Dallas will either score in bunches or it's going to just implode like Chernobyl. It's going to be one of the two. It's going to be so much fun to watch, though.
Oh man, I mean they're just there's going to be some spicy first round stuff.
Yeah. That's right. And I know everyone's complaining about the 3-game mess, but look, starting tomorrow, we've got Red Bulls, Charlotte, Kansas City, and San Jose, right? So you got the dinner time back to back. Okay, so then you have Saturday, then you've got Sunday, then you got Monday, then you got Wednesday.
Yeah.
I mean, look, man. Give me all of that. Give me all of that. The double feature. Yeah. All those nights it's the double feature.
Oh yeah. And you don't get any interference from anybody else.
Nope.
It is literally marquee game, East Coast, West Coast. It is bang bang. There's no having to switch multiple channels to try to find the game or anything. And it literally is choosing what to choose. Jared is now joining us for hour number 2.
I just had to come help. I had to come help Nick put the correct amount of dirt on the Houston Astros grave.
Yes. I am dancing on the grave. I don't care that my Yankees did not make the playoffs. I don't care because I'm that petty. Those trash can beating bums in Houston. My mother-in-law is going to get on a plane and come out there and beat the hell out of me.
Probably. You know what the true hell of the Houston Astros is? This is the second series since 2019 World Series being the other one, where they've played a 7-game series and they lost all 4 home games. Like they had home field advantage. They lost the 7-game series because they could not win a home game. That is just condense that milk down and please warm it up and put it in a cup for me.
Oh yeah. Oh, and it's even more bitter this time.
Oh yeah.
It's so if you're not aware of the radioactive heat This is like a blue giant star, right? This is some next level heat between Dallas and Houston.
Ooh.
Oh yeah, the hatred is a thing.
Yeah, the Arlington, Dallas, Fort Worth, it's not even the Metroplex now. It's like the Superplex. Oh my God, that venom.
Also, a Dallas adjacent team winning a title before Jerry can win one might kill him. Kill him.
It might.
Oh man,
he'll probably try to engineer a takeover like before the final pitch of the World Series. If it looks like the Rangers are going to win,
he's going to try and buy the team in the ninth inning.
The ninth inning, 2 outs. Rangers up 3-0.
What do I need to give you for this team to be mine?
Now, just talk to me. Give me a price. Now. Come on.
Man's just like smashing bottles of Johnny Walker.
Oh yeah,
like smashing them against the wall. Also, while we're on baseball down here, tonight is the first. The Philadelphia Phillies have existed for a long ass time, since like the 1880s. This is the first ever game series in their history. Rich, I don't know if you're here. Rich might be like quarantining himself for sanity reasons, because Phillies fans are in hell right now because they've never had to deal with a Game 7. Meanwhile, Bruce Bochy's 7-0 in Game 7s, which is amazing. But Phillies never had a Game 7, and they're not emotionally prepared for this because you can't be emotionally prepared until you actually do it.
Uh-huh. You got to be ready for it. Question on the floor had to do with yellow cards from David. Mm-hmm. Yellow card accumulation threshold reset for the start of the playoffs, so players who reach the amount with a card on decision day not suspended for the playoffs or the first game of next year. However, any player sent off on decision day misses their next eligible match. Player who receives a yellow in the first round and in the conference semi suspended for the conference final. Yellow card accumulation suspensions do not carry over to the MLS regular season. A player who picks up his second yellow in the conference championship is eligible to play an MLS Cup. Yellow card accumulation is reset for MLS Cup. Player sent off on 2 bookable offenses in the same playoff match suspended for the next match he's eligible for, including MLS Cup or his next regular season match. So there you go.
Yeah, that honestly feels like the perfect ending, is that somebody's getting into MLS Cup and like deal with double yellow card just because somebody's going to be stupid.
Yes. So that's your yellow card rules. David here on Baseball Down Here. Did anyone think Game 7 Dusty Baker was a winner?
The best thing that Dusty did was pull Garcia in the first inning before he could go full Fultonevich. And then the worst thing he did was leave his reliever out there to languish in the middle innings when Texas was able to put a 4 spot on the board. It pretty much put the game out of reach. Mm-hmm. It made it like 6-1, 7-1, something like that. Yeah. He did a really good job I thought he did a good job of, like, Garcia didn't have it. Gave up a home run, gave up 3 straight hits, like, boom. The bullpen was already warm, already getting loose. And he imploded faster than all reason. But I thought he screwed up there by leaving his reliever in way too long in the middle innings, and kind of did what Snitker did in Game 3 for Atlanta, which is he left the dude, Game 3, he left the dude out there just to fry unnecessarily. There's no reason to leave a pitcher out there. It is Game 7. Everyone and their mother should be on day. Like, Madison Bumgarner and his miserable, fun-hating self hit up Bruce Bochy. He was like, "Hey, you need another arm for tonight?" Like, everybody and their mother should have been ready to go. And the first sign of trouble, you start pulling people, and you start changing arms. You throw everyone possible to get through that game. And Dusty left him in there, man. The damn hell, Dusty. And Dusty might be done, by the way. It sounds like he's hanging him up.
That's what we're hearing on multiple sources.
Yeah. Sauces are saying.
Sauces, yes, that is absolutely true. I'm double checking the idea, the idea of getting a yellow in all 3 games and not miss the next. I think if you get a yellow in Thunderdome, I think you do miss the conference final because it would be the 3rd match in a row. But I think that if you make it to the conference final, you get your second one there, then it resets. But I've got to double check that info. The info I had admittedly was a couple of seasons old. It did not add Thunderdome to the mix, David. So I've got to double check that.
And to Will's question about or his comment about Philadelphia and the Magic possibly being broken, I don't know, but my complaint about Philly has been they are such a high octane emotional team, and if the emotion ain't there, they feed off of that emotion, and without the emotion, it's just so hard for them to pick themselves up off the mat. And once Arizona hit them for 3 runs early in that game, boom, boom, boom. Philly did not seem to have that crowd. And I saw a lot of Philly fans complaining well, that wasn't there were a lot of fakes in that Philly crowd. People just buying tickets to be cool. Those weren't real Philly fans. I don't know what to tell you then, because they were quiet. They were real damn quiet. And if Arizona gets a lead tonight, oh boy, it's going to be bad. Ooh. However, if Philadelphia, gets if Schwarber hits one 8 miles and, triggers the satellites on the first pitch, Philly will be fine. But man, they run so violently off of emotion that if it ain't there from the jump, they got problems.
Yep. Definitely do. All right, so I'm scanning through the playoff format, playoff matches, procedures. Okay. Yellow card accumulation for thresholds for players, coaches, and team officials are reset. Player, coach, or team officials who reach an accumulation in the last regular season match, eligible for the first match of the playoffs, eligible for the first regular season match of 24. Okay, so here we go. A player receiving 3 yellows will be suspended. For clarification, a player who receives a 3rd cumulative yellow card in the conference semifinal is eligible to play in the conference championship, where yellow card accumulation is reset. If a player's club does not advance to the next round of the Audi 2023 MLS Cup playoffs, well, Audi's not sponsoring us, so I've got to be careful about that. After the player receives a 3rd yellow, suspension will not carry over. Player who is suspended in issue 2 yellows in the same match, suspended for his next match for which he's eligible, including playoffs round and MLS Cup and or his next regular season match. So this is in the 2023 MLS season guidelines. So there. I'm posting the wording from our friends at Major League Soccer. So there you go. There's your information. So it sounds like the key 3 yellows is a suspension. Clarification, who gets that 3rd cumulative yellow in the conference semi is eligible to play in the conference championship, where yellow card accumulation is reset. So I think that's the one that's goofy. But there you go. So since it is, Nick, since it is after the top of the hour,
oh God,
I might need your help.
Hold on.
Yeah. Okay. Yeah.
Oh, jeez. God, look, I've got a problem, John.
What's your problem, Nick?
I got a problem here that we've got a wet spot on the rug that apparently stinks. It's horrible. It needs to be cleaned. It's horrible. It needs to be cleaned. It smells horrific. And I don't know who should I call, John.
Oh, I think we have an answer for you. It's our friends at Eliminize Service. For odor-free, clean, fresh air. Deodorizing enclosed spaces like houses, apartments, and condos, they've created a customized solution that eliminizes all organic odors, including those like pet cigarettes and food. Realtors and property managers use Eliminize Service to eliminate bad odors to help them sell or rent their homes that much faster. It's a turnkey process. Thank you, Ricky. Makes it easy to work with said realtors and property managers, kind of the environment, offering a green way to get rid of odors without any kind of toxic residue whatsoever, different than Febreze or our favorite masking agents that we have either under the sink or above us in the cupboard, because when you reach either under the sink or above you in the cupboard, to grab said masking agent and you spray the masking agent in the air, there's a reason it's called a masking agent. It masks the odor. Doesn't attack Nick's problems. Doesn't attack the stank the same way that our friends at Eliminize Service do with their proven scientific formula. Pricing very, very easy, either by the cubic foot or parts per million, to come up with a price that's affordable for you. Offering results in 24 hours or less. If you have any questions, frequently asked or otherwise, there's one place you need to go. It's the website. This is where I grab my pen. Because you go to eliminize.com, then after the .com, you go /Atlanta. So they know what part of the world that you are addressing them from so they can help you with your problems. ELIMINIZE.com/Atlanta, eliminize.com/Atlanta. Eliminize Service, proud sponsors of everything SDH that'll help you with your stank on a Tuesday.
Guess what?
What?
I'm calling Eliminize. Getting these odors taken care of, man.
There you go. I think we can consult Mike Conti for this as well, because I believe Mike actually did consult our friends a while back at Eliminize. So he can give expert advice when it comes to our friends at Eliminize, by the way. So let's see. So, Will, basically, who are you going to call smell busters, otherwise known as Eliminize Service? Yeah, that is absolutely true. Thoughts on the impending dream matchup of Bayern and Battlestar Galatasaray from Bloodworth?
That's right. I love that Battlestar Galatasaray was mentioned. That is like the best secondary name, I think, of all time.
Bayern in the juice boxes is a -213. Your draw is a +415, and Battlestar Galatasaray is a +515. And right now in that group, heading into match week 3, Bayern has won both of their matches so far. They're 2 points ahead of the Battleship, and it literally looks like it's going to be Bayern Munich and Galatasaray if things continue to hold. Copenhagen has one draw in their first 2 matches, and Manchester United has lost 2 in their first 2 matches in Group A in Champions League. So right now it looks like it's Bayern Munich and Battleship Galatasaray. The top 2 teams in Group A will go at it next here in the Champions League. Ajax. They're having a fantastic season. Wow.
Well, this is for them, this is their Book of Job moment.
Woo.
Because there are very few teams that live their life by such oh my God, what's the term to look for? I mean, in such a like they have their style of play is carved in stone, right, and brought down from the mountaintop.
The tablets of
Ajax is like everyone else, only more so. Ajax is the most Ajax club to ever Ajax.
Yes,
they are their own. They are their own.
Mm-hmm.
They are their own. They're their own adverb.
Yes, it is
Ajax. They Ajaxed harder than anybody.
That sounds like a Dr. Seuss character, the Ajax.
But I mean, the thing is, though, is that they have to look at the situation and say, okay, realistically, their style of play is the most sustainable way of playing. Their methodology for player development is the most sustainable method out there. Because it's not like you're asking them to do like this one-trick pony pressing thing, right? And this is from somebody who is obsessed with press. But at the same time, it is a culture in that club. And the one unifying thing about the old school, like Dynamo Kiev, right?
Mm-hmm.
And Ajax is that Dynamo Kiev's style of play, that insane Eastern Bloc bat blank crazy pressing style, fell apart with the fall of the Iron Curtain. When kids got introduced to more westernized values, more westernized media, that esprit de corps fell apart, and Valery Lobanovsky mentioned that several times as to why he became less and less successful over time, and why his teams weren't pressing as maniacally as they were before. He said these kids, in the old Soviet bloc, they had nothing else but this. This was it. So they played it with almost a religious intensity. It's going to be interesting to see if Ajax can continue their style of play in the modern world, or if they have to change things up. It's going to be interesting to see. And, I don't know if Frank is the answer, because they chased Frank out of town, and they said, oh, he's too boring. The style of play is too mechanical. It's the same thing with Van Gaal. They said the same thing with Louis Van Gaal, that the style is too mechanical. It's not free flowing. It's not fun. It's not engaging. They're winning games 1-0. They won a lot, but they didn't win pretty enough. So everyone yelled and screamed and moaned, and those two guys were chased out of the org. So, and without Van der Sar there as in an active role, I don't know if Frank has any allies to install him in that position, nor do I think he would necessarily take it at this point. So.
I mean, that's just, Ajax, incredibly Ajaxian.
But it's culture, man. It's the problem with culture. You're not going to lose culture overnight, over one season. But over time, culture becomes, you're reliant upon the world being a certain way, kids being a certain way as you grow and develop them. So, yeah.
Yep. Abby is wanting to know about red cards carrying over to next season if the last game for the team is where it is given. Straight red, third cumulative, red card suspensions. Player who receives a red card, whether it's a straight red or 2 yellow, suspended for the next match. If the red card is issued during the club's last postseason match, suspension carries over to the first regular season match of 24. If it's a straight red in the conference final and the team advances, player serves the red card suspension in the MLS Cup. So there you go. Yes. If they get a red in their last one, it carries over to the first match next year. But, yes, complaints about Ajax. Ajax is just bat blank awful right now. There's no other way to describe it.
Right. But, I understand this idea that people have an idea of how they want to win, right? We want to win this certain way. We want to win. We're going to win being this way and this way only. Okay, great. That will sustain you for a window. But when that window passes, you have to find a new way to win. You fall victim to what is called the gravity of success, right? Where this is the way we win. This is how we always win. Then people prepare for it. And you're like, oh, damn, we don't have another way to play. Like I've never focused on having to, play with my hair on fire. So you have this issue where you have to change. And if you don't want to, that's fine. But understand that you will be caught in the gravity of success. And you will find yourself being beaten a little bit more often as the subsequent years go on, in different situations, losing the same way. And you have to be willing to change things up. And when you are so stridently adherent to some dogmatic style, you're not going to be open to that change. I will call people here, the fan base here in Atlanta, out. When Frank was winning, and he was winning 1-0, right? 1-0 here, 1-0 there. And people were screaming, I want my old Atlanta United back. It's not exciting. It's not fun. So, okay. So then you started getting fun and exciting, but you were giving up goals late. You were, ending up in draws that should have been wins because, oh man, we need our old Atlanta United back. Okay. Do you want to win or do you want to play a style? That's the question. And obviously you want to win with a style when possible.
But if you can't have both,
I would prefer just a win. Win ugly, win pretty. Just win.
Mm-hmm. That's the hook in all of this. Let's see. Going back into God, where was it? It was before the Battleship Galatasaray comment. Where was it? Oh, it was before baseball down here. Nick, by the way, Will says that PCB Walmart should charge admission.
Yes, completely.
Bam says Orlando Nashville. If it goes to a game 3, will end with multiple red cards. And that would be really interesting. And Will also says Jordi Alba is a Blaise Matuidi DP, and you can't convince me otherwise. I'm just waiting for somebody to body check Jordi Alba into retirement.
Jarrett, you want to take that one?
Jordi Alba is a DP.
I mean, Jordi at least can move. Blaise Matuidi had very much the Mr. Krabs meme where the world is spinning faster than he can comprehend it. That was his biggest problem. Was just the world was moving too fast for his brain.
Yeah.
At that point, and it's this thing that we've talked about with a lot of times when people come over to MLS. I'm going to come to MLS. Oh, Jesus Christ. Why are they so fast? What did that just move? Where the hell did he go? Or why the hell is there some, 23-year-old kid from Brown University trucking me in a Red Bulls game in front of 45 people at RBA? I didn't sign up for this.
Yes, you did. Yes, you did.
You don't know what you signed up for, and that was part of your problem.
That's absolutely true. Oh, where was there's a feature that I'll try and find out that was that had to do with the sport in and of itself, and I'll find it. It was the Telegraph story.
While you're looking for that, I will say yes. Well, I get what you're saying. He's a white envelope DP. He's a white envelope DP where he shows up. It's like the old bag man in college. That you're at the condo, you're hanging out. You got some people over. You just open a nice cab, and there's a knock on the door. You open it. There's no one there, but there's a white envelope under the floor mat. All right, the doormat rather. You lift the doormat up. There's a white envelope, and it's just stacked full of cash.
Where did this come from?
I have no idea. The cash fairy brought it. Yeah, that it's non-declarable dollars. He's a non-declarable dollars DP.
Yes,
I'll buy that. I'll buy that argument.
Mm-hmm. That's but the thing is, you sit there and you go, now really, is this really in fact mine? Does this belong to me? Where did this come from? What are my responsibilities going forward? I think we all do. I think we all want one of those envelopes, Nick's. But the Guardian, Ryan Baldy, had a question. And he says, MLS has attracted a new generation of stars, but will they stay? League was once made up of would-be's and has-beens. Now there's a burgeoning middle class, talented players looking to kickstart stalled careers. And he mentions Ricky Puig, thriving with LAG. Ryan Gauld, who was a young player at Sporting CP, but after loan moves, he's now fulfilling his potential with the Whitecaps. Carlos Heel, who struggled to meet expectations at Aston Villa. Hani Mukhtar, Cucho Hernandez, Sebastian Driussi. One of the reasons cited for the growth of this burgeoning category of import is that until recently, such players did not consider a move to North America. Now, though, thanks to infrastructural advancement and the growth of the sport among the U.S. public, MLS franchises can offer an all-encompassing soccer environment on par with the European clubs to which these players might previously have been more attracted. Quoting Neil McGuinness, Director of Player Scouting for Crew, we have a league and a product on the field that is now strongly established and is appealing to both young potential prospects and senior pros who are mid-career, which has made the market so much more open and diverse than it was back in the 1990s. So that's what I was chasing after. Baldy says it's a two-way street, increasingly attainable mid-career stars, and he has a picture of Thiago Almada in the article. Attractive to MLS clubs as the league is to them, they represent a safer method of acquiring a star-level player than the hit-and-miss process of youth development, while also offering more longevity and upside than the late-career megastars of years past. So the premise posited by Ryan Baldy is that you have these folks that went over to Europe when they were too young, didn't get the chance to perform. Now they're back here in early to mid-20s, and they're crushing it, which gives them basically a second life as possibly heading back over to Europe as a more mature player that has finally gotten the opportunity to show their own worth with that list of players, Nick, that we were talking about just now.
I think that MLS is becoming more attractive to players for a variety of reasons. One is that if you're in Europe, and I'll use Italy as an example, right? So any other country you can have your conversations with. England, have your conversations with. I can't speak about England or any of that mess. I can only speak about Italy. There is a mythology that exists when people talk about America. When I was there in 98, I had a cousin of mine who was of the firm belief that a great many of the women here look like the Dallas Cowboy cheerleaders. His parents and some of the parents of my other cousins watched dubbed versions of Dynasty in Dallas, right? So they had an idea of what America was. And that there's this idea that, you know, America equals Los Angeles, Miami, and New York. And you can go there and you can live a life where no one's going to mess with you. You can make stupid money and you can do what you do best, right? Some people are mathematicians. Some people put, you know, rockets up in space. Some people cure diseases. They play baseball, you know, they play soccer, you know, whatever. And you have an opportunity as paychecks start bouncing for some of the larger clubs, as political turmoil starts. Look at Manchester United, prime example. Look at the toxicity that exists within the upper ranks of Man United, whether they're getting sold, not sold, who's the sporting director going to be, what's the player profile going to be, who's the manager going to be next year, playing at Real Madrid. Look at Vinny, right? Vinicius Jr. can't go a game without people standing up and making monkey noises at him and making racist comments to him nonstop. If some team in MLS says, brother, we can pretty much guarantee that's not going to happen here if you come play in New York, are you going to play in Champions League? You played in Champions League. What else is there for you to do in Champions League? You just come here and collect your money and live your life in peace, especially these black players who are running into these issues over and over again are going to choose a different way of life, because life in Europe from a sporting perspective is becoming too damn toxic. The money is there, but is the quality of life there? And I think Major League Soccer, if they can free up some of the shackles around spending in this, especially from the middle out, you will see an explosion of talent and you will see this league really take off. But the best thing you can do is showcase. And people get real stupid about the messy stuff. It's too much. It's too much. I understand. But if you are over in Europe right now and you're really pissed off at your club situation, you're mad because you can't go anywhere without people throwing themselves on your car, and you are flipping around, Twitter or Instagram or TikTok, and up comes a video of Lionel flipping Messi walking through Publix, and no one's messing with him. Maybe a picture here or there. No one's messing with him. There's a light bulb that goes off in your brain that says, if Lionel Messi can do that in frickin' America and get paid what he's getting paid, I'm going to try it. So the money needs to be freed up, but there's no other league on earth that has the ability to spend capital the way MLS does and be sustainable. In Italy, Milan is profitable now for the first time in like 17 years.
Yeah.
How many superstars are on that team? And don't tell me Christian Pulisic's a superstar, because in Europe he's not. How many superstars are on that team? Maybe one, and that's Mikey Magnon, right? If you look across Italy, they're cutting back budgets significantly. If you look in England, that's your holdout. That's where all the stupid money is right now. But the politics of the boards, because there's so much pressure, because there's so much money, is problematic. So I don't think there's another league on earth right now that has the ability to grow and explode like MLS does. And that's why I'd be very bullish on MLS's future, and not on Ligue 1, not on La Liga, because La Liga's fan environment's too toxic. Rafael, yes, he is a star, but Rafael's a star, but I need to see something more. He has to me the ability to become transcendent. He's not transcendent yet. And I'm willing to take heat for saying that. But I think that he has this is going to really blow up. I see a lot where Rafael Leao can be somebody who is so insanely good. It's like Ballon d'Or level, but I also see him being Nani.
Mm-hmm.
So that's a pretty big gulf between those two. And Nani in his prime was very good, but would you say Nani in his prime was an absolute transcendent, player? I wouldn't say transcendent. Very good, yes. Transcendent, no. Do I think that Rafael Leao could be like Luis Figo at some point, maybe? But I think right now he's more at the Nani level, where he's so good, but he's not transcendent. So it's an odd conversation. But yeah, I'm willing to have that conversation. But MLS, to me, there's more billionaires that own these clubs. There's a level of control and spending that keeps you on a level where you're not going to end up like Ligue 1, where you have two teams that are God level, and one team is God level and the rest are, scrappy
ish
or bankrupt.
Yeah.
So who else in the world outside of England can say that?
And Jarrett, you're in a situation with a league that actually will pay players, and the checks will cash. Your EFT will work on Fridays. You won't be like Reggie Cannon and Boa Vista, where Boa Vista owes FCD, I want to say between $3 and $6 million and still haven't paid it yet. They still haven't paid the transfer fee. You come here, you get your paychecks paid.
Yeah, if I'm not mistaken, Boa Vista still hasn't paid. They can't make moves right now because they've been ruled against in court, in arbitration court,
CAS.
Yeah, in CAS. They can't do anything, but they also can't pay. So this is one of those things. Like, think real hard before we, because everybody's falling over themselves. Like, oh my God, Dallas did so good. They got this much money for Reggie Cannon, who hadn't really done anything at that point. Oh, I got that much for him. It's amazing. Hey, cash don't mean nothing if you ain't getting it because you can't spend it.
Correct.
And also kind of screwing a young player up there, because then he's in a situation where, he might not even be getting paid and he might not be improving.
Mm-hmm. If he ain't getting paid, he ain't playing. Because I think Reggie Cannon wasn't even playing at Boa Vista either.
Look, it's the thing about America that I've said before and I'll say again, and it's part of the appeal for guys like a Yorgos Giacomakis of that age group and that skill level. America is a wonderful place to be rich.
Mm-hmm.
And in this instance, I'm saying pulling down 7 figures a year. Rich is a fluid term, I know, and we talk about wealth. But if you're pulling down 7 figures a year, America's a good place to live,
mm-hmm.
because you're going to be okay.
Mhm.
Not as crazy with tax avoidance as the Italians and the Greeks, but also not as ruthless as the Spanish tax man, who has circled back on Shakira last I checked.
Oh,
Like a great white in the ocean coming back for another hit.
oh.
But those kind of players are the kind you can get. You can get a GG. You got Nico Ladero back in the day, and now Nico's leaving Seattle, and we'll see what he does. Wondering. Well, I'm wondering if South America is on the docket for him to go back to South America to wind things down for him. But those kinds of guys are the ones that you can get aside from guys who did a bit of work in Europe. Maybe it didn't work out. Maybe they didn't find the right fit. Honestly, one that comes to mind is a guy like a Lewis Morgan, who was in Celtics Academy, was playing for Celtic, couldn't get time, went out on loan, did okay. Then it wasn't working. Took the paycheck to come to America, had an amazing first season with Miami, and just kind of settled into a penciled into the starting 11 a lot of times for New York Red Bulls.
Mm-hmm.
Those are the kind of guys that you can get, that you can try and bring in and maximize the value with, especially in such a stupid capped league. Got to find a way.
Yep. Bloodworth has been very, very busy, and thank you, Bloodworth, for being busy in the Twitch pitch this morning. Bloodworth says that Thomas Mueller has made noise about coming to MLS, and what are the chances Atlanta lands him?
0 for Atlanta. 0 for Atlanta, I think.
I don't think that's him. I don't think he is him for them right now. If that makes sense.
Yeah, I don't. Wrong. Thomas Mueller would, I think, probably love to come to America. I don't think it's going to be Atlanta. I don't think Atlanta's going to spend. If they're going to spend, they're going to look in ways to not just have a DP, for a DP. I think the Galaxy would probably be more likely to spend on a Thomas Mueller than Atlanta would be, in that for that age designated player. And for, as far as Rafael, one thing I will say, we have to beat Inter and we have to beat Juve. And he hasn't had moments at all, especially this season, where he's put on a defining performance against Inter and Juve and led us across the line. Just throwing that out there. There is a huge gulf between undeniably transcendent and very good. And so I think he's very good, but he's not transcendent yet. I know we want a Bayern player here, man. I get it. I really do. But I don't think Atlanta's going to spend on that profile. I just don't. They want to. They're going to probably mine more of the buy low, sell high from when it comes to designated player.
Find your distressed assets.
Yes. So that's how we got. That's how we got Mayumba. That's how we got Thierry. That's how we got Jean de Silva.
Even Gigi was a unique situation coming out of Celtic, because he was in butting heads with Ange Postecoglou by multiple reports, and he didn't want to play second fiddle to Kyogo Furuhashi. And it was one of those things where he was at that age where you got a family and you're thinking, I'm gonna go get myself comfortable. Mm-hmm. And I think that was a lot of his thing. You might find somebody like that in Bundesliga, be it with Bayern, be it with somebody else. You can find guys like that in those unique situations. It's you just got to find the right fit, and then you got to find the right fit salary wise to make it work. Mueller's an amazing player, though, because I feel like Mueller should be 38 years old, and he's not. Because he has been doing this for so damn long.
You mentioned Los Angeles. Greg Vanney had his exit presser yesterday. And Vanney came back. He had a 3-year plan. This is Kevin Baxter of the LA Times. Ended in a 4-1 loss to FCD. Vanny's team has lost more games than it has won. It missed the postseason twice, regressing more than progressing, matching a franchise high with 67 goals allowed this year, while its 8 wins equaled the fewest in a non-COVID season, 1.06 points per game, second worst of all time. Galaxy ended the season winless in its last 6, just one victory since August. It hasn't gone beyond the first round of the playoffs since 2014. 17 of the 32 players on the roster, including Chicharito and Douglas Costa, are either out of contract or entering an option year. Galaxy payroll of more than $25 million in guaranteed compensation, ranked among the 3 highest in Major League Soccer for the 6th straight year. Yet that spending bought the team just 2 playoff wins in those half dozen seasons. Baxter mentions Douglas Costa and his $4.25 million are out the door. Vanny, quote, "This is important because we've got to show real progress next season. We need to put ourselves back into the discussion about being a capable championship-winning franchise." Of course, that's what Vanny said when he returned 3 years ago. It's what Baxter said. Despite what transpired in the interim, he's still confident he's the guy best suited to turn the team around. Nothing more that hurts me, quote, "There's nothing more that hurts me than the team losing and the team not performing. If there's a point when I thought I wasn't the guy, I wouldn't be here on my own because I care about the club. It's not a job for me. This is my life, and I won't stop until we get there unless somebody else makes that decision for me," end quote.
Ooh, buddy.
Uh-huh.
Looking up at that executioner, you don't have the balls to do it.
Oh, he is staring. He is staring at the dude with the double-sided axe on the platform, Nick. And he's just he's gone Vincent K. McMahon Jr. here.
Hey, yeah.
You don't have the grapefruits.
What do you think? You know how this is going to end, right?
Yeah.
We know how it's going to end.
Uh-huh.
Yeah, I keep having Anton Chigurh from No Country for Old Men, that line just echoing in my head. It's like, you should admit your situation. There would be more dignity in it.
Yeah. You ain't wrong. Baxter continued. Galaxy went 8-14-12 in 2023. Worst season in a decade as manager in Toronto and LA, and one so frustrating he became emotional just talking about it following the final. Also, the most turbulent season in his career, one that opened under a huge black cloud after Chris Klein fined and sanctioned by Major League Soccer for violating the league's salary guidelines. After it was announced Klein had been re-signed to a multi-year contract extension despite the penalties and the losing record through much of the tenure, the team's main supporter groups boycotted the team, demanding Klein be fired. When the Galaxy won 2 of their first 14, Klein was sacked. Too late to save the season. Losing just 1 of their next 13, the hole dug was too deep. Raheem Edwards said, "This can't happen again." Although Vanny and the team tried to dismiss the supporter boycott as a minor distraction, it was clearly much bigger than that in the dressing room. Galaxy also saw 5 key players, including Chicharito, have their seasons ended early by surgery, while injuries forced at least a half dozen others to miss multiple games. Tyler Boyd was the only player to appear in all 34 MLS matches. Ricky Puig was the only one to play as many as 80% of the available MLS minutes. Vanny. Other GMs around the league, they say to me, "Man, you guys have encountered 5 years of adversity. There are some things that we've encountered that teams never encountered, and that's been stressful." Will Kuntz joined the team in April, senior VP player personnel, added 5 players despite ongoing league sanctions that limited his ability to sign international players. Kuntz was the first to admit it didn't pay off with many wins. Presence is the reason to believe that could be a productive winner. Kuntz helped build LAFC into an MLS champ as a team senior VP of soccer ops, favors building around young, anonymous players on their way up, and sees Central and South America as a cost-effective market for that kind of player. Look for the Galaxy to be open to both paths of that and the big-name European talent. So, as we've been talking this morning,
I see he's got his scouting notes from 2017.
LAG has decided that it's going to be an interesting an interesting off season, and we've got a little bit of this out of USL League One. Greenville Triumph Soccer Club head coach and sporting director John Harks has announced he will not seek to renew his contract after 5 years with the club. Winning as coach in USL League One history, joined the Triumph shortly after the club's inception of 2018. Quoting Harks, "After much reflection and many discussions, I've decided not to renew my contract. Grateful to this club, in particular their Irwin family, their ownership group, Chris Lewis, for the steadfast trust in me to lead the club on and off the field. I hope that I've fulfilled my promises to build Triumph SC from the ground up and my dream to leave it in a better place. Forever a member of the Greenville Triumph, will remain a full supporter of the club, fans, and community moving forward. Indebted to Joe, Gretchen, Doug, Shannon, Billy, and Chris, as well as my coaching staff and players for their hard work, belief, and trust. I'd like to thank my family, in particular my wife, Cindy, who supported me along this journey. Excited for the next chapter of my career and in our lives." End quote. John Harks leaving Greenville.
Well, damn.
Triumph.
I wonder where he's going.
Well, there might be some openings in Major League Soccer that might be functional.
I just want to see what some of the former U.S. M&T alums say when Harks gets his shot at an MLS club.
I mean,
you mean considering the fact that MLS U.S. M&T alums seem to eat their young a lot?
Oh God, they do. Yes, they do. All I'm saying is there's a certain look. Eric Winalda is going to be.
Please welcome new LA Galaxy head coach Jermaine Jones.
All I'm saying is, if you know anything about the Harks Winalda history, what's the one thing that Winalda has wanted more than anything else? And that is to manage an MLS club. Why am I not getting my shot? Why won't somebody give me that shot? I can identify talent. Forget the fact that he is, by all accounts, like a nutcase. But if Harks gets a job in MLS prior to Eric Winalda, the man who was wronged, the man who was had his entire personal life spill out over over type and paper, because that's when that took place.
Yeah.
And if Winalda can't get that top job and Harks does, social media is going to be that. If you want to know what would probably make me pay for Twitter, that might make me pay for Twitter just for a week or two to see how that plays out, because that's going to be must see social media.
Well, there are two openings right now in Major League Soccer in the Eastern Conference. One is not playing in the postseason. One currently is, where John Harks has ties, not draws, equal numbers after 90 minutes, where he has a history. DC and New England played 138 matches with both of those clubs total. John Harks in DC as the new manager at DC United, floating that out there as Rich has done as well.
Yeah, it would make sense. It would fit their profile.
John Harks in DC, because that had been rumored in the past. I think that had been rumored. That had been rumored before Wayne Rooney took over in DC. I'm just saying. Rich has it.
Oh my God.
Arena as GM and Harks as coach. The band is back together in DC.
I have never seen a team intentionally try and score 9 goals in the New England Revolution, but that would happen at that point. Oh my God.
Mark this tape.
Don't want to.
Rich, you might have it.
I think he does.
Rich, I think you got it.
Yeah.
I think Rich is playing 4D chess and has somehow
He
beat
found
all
the-
of us.
He found the Vulcan chess manager. He found Vulcan chess for dummies.
Jesus Christ.
I think that's it.
That is both accurate and like
Insane.
not safe for human consumption. What would happen? Holy God. That would be a lot.
You want to know? You want to know how we would get really? Let's get really dumb. If we're gonna get dumb, let's get really dumb.
Yeah.
Because this would be movie material.
Okay.
Right.
Okay.
You have Arena as GM.
Yeah.
Harks as manager.
Yeah.
And then they call in Winalda to be the head of scouting.
Oh, that'd be. I think that's one too many.
Can you imagine?
When Winalda doesn't get one of these jobs, I need to know which reporter is the first one to text him and, hey man, you want to sit down? You want to go grab a drink and sit down?
Mm-hmm.
A matter of time before someone from the Athletics going to do it.
Yeah.
You know it. They need they need those subscriptions, baby. That will be a subscription driver. That would make my ass subscribe.
Yep, that'll get a lot of people on the like Black Friday. Hey, $1 a month for 12 months.
Mm-hmm.
Yep.
That would get a lot of people. 110%.
Oh, but the only thing about RFK though is that I think it is set for demolition, and the Raccoons would probably take over before anybody.
The Raccoons are going to petition demolition. It's okay.
Yeah.
Aren't they trying to get a new NFL stadium already?
Yeah. Oh yeah.
Yeah, they're trying to move back into downtown.
Good luck.
Because the facility at Raljon was not being taken care of by the Snyders, and they've had to like tarp off seats in the upper regions because ain't nobody buying those things, and sight lines are awful and all of that. But yes, they are trying to petition to move back downtown. Yes, Rich, on the RFK side, as a matter of fact. So you'd have the Raccoons ready with their hard hats and their sledgehammers, ready for the new site, ready for the new stadium on the old site at RFK. Question from Bloodworth. And according to rumors, CR38 has been offered $40 to $50 million to appear at Crown Jewel. Which Atlanta United star do you think would be a good person to make the jump to sports entertainment?
Derek Etienne Jr.
Okay.
So if we had a stable of Derek Etienne Jr., if we had Jamal Tiari, and if you had Gigi as the monster heel.
And what about Juanjo Purata as your ravishing Rick Rude?
Purata's too nice. I will die on the hill though that Derek Etienne Jr. on a mic would be absolute fire. He is almost uncomfortably charismatic, and very quick-witted. It would be it would be a fire promo, and there's a non-zero chance if you needed him to become a charismatic villain, he could generate like the kind of heat that you look for in like, hey, we got this heel. How's it going? Well, everyone loves him. That's what would happen. It would be like if you made if you put like Big E in heel mode.
Okay.
Like he has that kind of like swagger and quick wit on the microphone.
Yep.
Also, if you put him in the ring with someone to work a dual promo, you got to put somebody good in there because he's going to dance circles around the wrong person if you get it wrong.
Yes.
He's too good.
Rich says when Atlanta United has a WCW theme night, he'll be here.
The fact that we haven't had one yet is amazing. I've given my list to people in the building about, hey, you had Ric Flair come hit the spike. You can get a lot less problematic wrestlers to hit the spike, and we would all be very happy.
Mm-hmm.
Like, DDP's got a studio in Smyrna. I used to live 2 minutes from it.
Yeah.
Have DDP come do it. Don't even give him the mallet. Let him do the diamond cutter on the spike.
Oh, see now, if he did 3 diamond cutters on the spike without the mallet.
Yes. DDP used to host at Taylor Bronner Park in downtown Smyrna.
Mm-hmm.
They do food truck Tuesdays during the spring and summer. It's a great time. Bring the kids. I'm not getting paid for this endorsement.
No.
But he at one point was doing like free yoga classes. Like, so you would just show up with your mat. You could do yoga with DDP.
Nice.
Yeah, just a cool time. Nice guy.
Oh,
like Bill Goldberg graduated from the University of Georgia. Goldberg was one of the biggest sports entertainment stars in history. The fact that he was not good in the ring, notwithstanding.
Oh, God, nightmare.
But as he's gotten older, he has learned to cut a promo.
He also, I think, knows what he was at this point. I think he's got a little more self-aware about it.
Yeah.
Ask Bret Hitman Hart how he feels about all that. Bret Hart got concussed into oblivion.
Oh my God, he did.
by Bill Goldberg. Hell, Roman Reigns graduated from Georgia Tech, played football at Georgia Tech. Get him in here.
Yeah, Joe and I. Absolutely.
Well, and not just that, but Cody Rhodes lives up Norcross, right?
He went to Lassiter.
Yeah, he went to Lassiter and East Cobb.
I have an interview with Cody with Cody Runnels when he won the state wrestling championship as a senior, and in that interview, his dad was there. Glacier was there.
Glacier was an elementary school PE teacher, if I'm not mistaken.
And
or middle school.
DDP they were all in his corner as he's wrestling this finals match. It is literally Dusty, DDP, and Glacier in that corner.
If I'm not mistaken, I think a friend of mine had told me that Glacier was a PE teacher for one of the schools in the county. It was like super fun guy and was like just the best. But he was a good gimmick wrestler. It's fine.
Rich, Cody quit AEW and sold out. He's dead to me.
Well, I can respect that.
I respect your opinion on this.
I can respect it. But there's
out, baby.
There's a lot of wrestlers in the greater metro area who would be more than happy to come, cut a ruthless promo on whoever we're playing, and hit the golden spike. See, that's what we're missing. Okay. So if you and Ric Flair is extraordinarily problematic, but if you had
unsettlingly so,
yeah, if you had any of these wrestlers come out and before they hit the spike, they just cut a promo on whoever we're playing, biggest house, biggest hill, biggest side of town, whatever, and then hit the golden spike, it would be nuts. That's all I'm going to say. It would be absolutely nuts.
Oh, man. I'm trying to think. Oh, yeah. Arn Anderson is, in fact, still alive, y'all. Arn Anderson, the most dad human being to ever exist on this planet.
Yeah. He peak Southern dad energy.
Oh, yeah. Get Arn Anderson in there. Let him show you what he's still about.
Well, he cut an unscripted promo with Cody Rhodes in his final days where he talked about pulling a heater on somebody. So there's challenges.
You want to go the AEW route though. You know what? Hey, you want to get real creative? Hey, hook up the winch atop of Mercedes-Benz and have Sting drop out the rafters.
See, if you got Sting to do that. Oh my God!
And Sting's going to be like one. Look, like there's a lot of issues with professional wrestling because they're all like trying not to die every day.
Exactly.
Sting is like one of the most well-adjusted human beings in wrestling too.
Yeah.
So,
but you'd have to have Shivani do the intros and cut the promo.
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah. Also, you could get Edge. I refuse to call him Adam Copeland. But you don't you don't even like announce like tonight the golden spike will be hit by blah blah blah. You just start playing Alter Bridge.
And he comes storming out of the tunnel with the dry ice and the smoke and the light show.
Oh yeah. And you confuse so many people because as much as there are us, there are plenty of people who did not grow up watching wrestling or do not still watch wrestling. And they're trying to figure out what the hell has happened and why is this band that sounds suspiciously like Creed playing? It's better than Creed. Alter Bridge is better than Creed. Don't at me.
Rich has a moment here. Rich says someone on Atlanta United recreate the finger poke of doom. A piece of Atlanta wrestling history.
Oh yeah, I was there. I was there that night for that.
Yeah, Xavier Woods already did it, y'all.
And Xavier Woods jumped in the supporter section and then went absolutely nuclear the rest of the match. And that was the most hype I've seen the supporter section all season.
Oh man, get Eric Bischoff.
No, I'll put it. This is a rather dark piece of Nick history. I was in high school. The NWO heat was at its absolute peak. And you have to understand, I was a very toxic child. Shocking.
How toxic?
We all were. It's the 90s.
Yeah. And so the heat with NWO was off the meter. And Bischoff had cut this like ridiculous promo, just nuking the city of Atlanta and, you know, how we were all terrible. And he was walking out from the back of outside. And I never anticipated this. And I launched the biggest loogie I've ever launched in my life from about 15 feet away. And mid-flight, I knew it was hitting him. And I was expecting it to hit him like on his shit, and I swear to God, it hit him right in his left temple.
That's a magic loogie.
And security dove on him and just shoved him out of the way. And I have never felt worse about something for the rest of my life, because that's the moment the work, I worked myself into a shoot on that one because I hated Eric Bischoff so much as a kid. But the minute it launched, and then I also hit Macho Man Randy Savage with the cherry tomato at the Georgia Dome.
Oh, that's awesome.
That also happened.
Macho Man was one of the good ones, man. Leave Macho Man alone. He had he had enough going on without us throwing things at him.
Well, this is when the NWO would get in the ring and everybody just launched stuff. You know, they had to clean the ring after every NWO.
Look at all the garbage in this.
Look at all the crap in this ring.
Yeah. So it really was like it might have been after the finger poke of doom when the loogie incident happened.
Oh wow.
Yeah. So it was oh my God, it was really
Abby, we'd have to figure out what Atlanta Knights player would have to come back and wear it and wear a jersey. That'd be interesting.
I think Diesel used to live here too. You could get him. You get like so many of those cats used to live here. You could get so many of them. To y'all's point, if you get Sting, you have to have the it's Sting.
Oh, absolutely. It's got to be Shivani. Shivani has to do it.
And Shivani, it has to be Shivani doing the it's Sting call of absolutely. Like the first time he's been on TNT since 1998.
Yep, absolutely.
So Kepsi, the issue with the statue of The Rock is essentially they made a statue of The Rock, but white.
Yeah. Like he is very much like most of those guys. Again, that's a whole family. Like all of those guys are a family. All the Samoan wrestlers are. They're all related in different ways. It's like cousins, brothers, whatever. They're all Samoan. They made a statue of a Samoan man and made him
Rocky
white.
Johnson, a black man.
Yeah. But like you're half Samoan, half African American, and they made you white.
Yeah. And I don't mean like slightly white, like, you know, like vanilla mocha white. I'm talking like Norwegian.
Oh wow.
Yeah. So yeah, it's like okay. To the point where The Rock even chimed in. It's like, I'm gonna call these people and have them correct it.
Yep. Will says the finger poke of doom might be more Philadelphia Union-ish, and he says that Jose Martinez would be great for it.
Be fine with that. Do it.
And yes, Abby, the power plant I think was off of South Atlanta Road with the corporate offices at CNN Center, because that's where they would edit the show and they would cut all the promos for all of the house shows. Tuesday night at McKenzie Arena in Chattanooga, Tennessee. We're getting on the campus of the University of Tennessee, Chattanooga Magazine. We get funky like a monkey. And then you go, yeah, we're in Knoxville at the Thompson Bowling Arena on the campus of the University of Tennessee. You know, they cut all those promos there inside CNN Center. And I know folks that were a part of WCW that did all of that stuff. So that was, yes.
Hey, at least they never tried to bring Hogan to do the spike.
Oh my God. The booze would be, we have to make sure that
self-generating heat.
Yeah, we have to make sure that the front office knows never, ever, ever to call Hogan.
Oh yeah, I think they're locked into that.
Okay.
Let's see. So, gossip, rumor, and innuendo before we go. As always, when the show goes off the rails, it's never a bad thing. Arsenal remain interested in trying to sign Douglas Luiz from Aston Villa. Chelsea and Manchester City considering a move for Inter defender Alessandro Bastoni. Everton concerned by Al Ettifaq's reported interest in Dominic Calvert-Lewin as their takeover uncertainty continues. You're going to get picked at. Manchester United open any January transfer offer for Jadon Sancho, with the England Wingers United career 90% over. That's from Fabrizio Romano. Fiorentina and Nico Gonzalez attracting attention from several Premier League clubs after an impressive start to his season. West Ham are monitoring AZ Alkmaar forward Vangelis Pavlidis as they look to bolster their attack. Man City open to and considering the exit of Calvin Phillips, very likely in January. Bayern Munich, Juve, Liverpool among the clubs who could make a move for Phillips. Sevilla monitoring the future of Manchester United's midfielder Hannibal Mabry. Manchester City confident Julian Alvarez will remain at the club despite reported interest from Barca and Real Madrid. How are you going to pay for him? Burnley and keeper Arjanet Muric attracting interest from several clubs, including Union Berlin and Sevilla. Inter Milan, former club, AC Milan, and Juve are all interested in Lille center back Thiago Jallo, with the Portugal U21's international contract set to expire in the summer. Ajax likely to fail with any approach to lure Manchester United assistant manager Mitchell van der Gaag back to the club to replace Maurice Stein. That's from the 4-letter paper. Take the information at your own peril. And from the 3-letter paper, Bournemouth boss Andoni Iraola facing showdown talks this week and could be the first Premier League manager to be sacked this season. That is gossip, rumor, and innuendo today. What to watch on the telly. And this is where we also promote our friends at Fanatis. fntz.co/soccer down here. Helps out the network, helps out us, helps out you. You get to watch BN, Libertadores, then all the Copas in South America, Copa Sudamericana, outside of the pay-per-view options. You don't get to watch CONMEBOL, that's a pay-per-view. CDO, for the fans, Nuestra Tele, TIC, all the networks, all the stuff, all the lower divisions, all of the sicko stuff in Central and South America, all in one place. Champions League is today. 3 o'clock, Union Berlin and Napoli on CBS Sports Network. Galavision has Manchester United and Copenhagen at 3. Goal TV has the Uruguayan Primera at 3. 2 to NA has a doubleheader. Battleship Galatasaray, Bayern Munich at 12:45. Sporting Braga, Real Madrid at 3. Unimas has your simulcast of Galatasaray, Bayern Munich. Universo has Liga MX at 11. Guadalajara, Mazatlan. Univision has Braga and Real Madrid at 3. ACC Plus, 3 matches on the men's side starting at 6. B1G Plus, 2 matches on the men's side starting at 7. Championship on the Plus at 3 o'clock, Leicester City and Sunderland. Knicks might be watching. Has 7 matches on the men's side on the Plus. Flow FC has 5 matches on the men's side. Asian Champions League has already started today and is mostly over. 4 matches already started. 1 started and completed. 1 started at 10 o'clock. 2 more at noon. 1 is at 2 o'clock. Paramount Plus also has all 6 matches from Champions League today. 3 matches from the Argentine Primera. 1 match from the Brasileiro, Fortaleza, Botafogo at 6. Peacock has Guadalajara and Tigres at 8. Jarrett, any last thoughts before we go?
Always understand that when you see everybody's lists of awards at the end of the year, half of it is analysis and half of it is just driving content.
Yes, that is true. Nick, any thoughts before we go?
I always remember that, it's okay to enjoy these games. Don't put any money on these games. Dear God, if you bet on MLS, you need serious, significant, major help. Outside of that, this is all fun. It's all entertainment. Don't work yourself into a shoot. It's the magic lines. And don't fall victim to the gravity of success.
Absolutely. Note from Rich before we go. Kevin Sullivan is on official visits at some of the top clubs. Real Madrid, Man City, Bayern Munich, possibly another few while he's in Europe. Sources say European clubs bound to fight for the signature when he turns 16. Can't play for them when he's 18. And if you missed it, second year in a row, SDH is a silver level award winner on the Davey Awards. So another banner day for us here at SDH. Podcast series Sports silver winner, silver level for the Davey Awards, the 19th annual awards. And we got that notification at 9:30 this morning. So we'll be back at it again tomorrow morning. Thanks, Bam. Thanks, Kefsey. Thanks for staying up late, Bam. Tomorrow it is normal first hour. Dylan Butler, if he is raced around the planet and he can be locked into one place, he'll be joining us at 10. Bart Keeler joining us. Episode 70 of the Soccer for US POD is up and running. Bart will join us at 10:30 to talk stuff. You got your episodics later today, USL Championship, USL League One, MLS Next Pro. We'll try to get some interviews out of Greenville because of the news with the Triumph where John Harkes is not renewing his contract come the end of the year. Busy day tomorrow, busy week all across the board. Thanks for hanging out with us. So for Nick and for Jared, I'm just John. Thanks for hanging out with us for another day of soccer down here. Play it safe, everybody. Enjoy your day. Mucha platial. We'll be back at it again tomorrow morning, 9:05. Since it's the end of the show, that means I get to do this. We'll be back at it again in a little less than 22 hours. Bye.